Hello, I'm Heidi Hankaniemi. I'm a Finnish artist based here in Manhattan, New York City. I had the absolute pleasure of taking part in the Chelsea Music Festival in 2015. I exhibited some mending tapestry works at St. Paul's Church in Chelsea. It was a really wonderful experience that still inspires me today. It's not common for a visual artist to have their work immersed and surrounded by incredibly beautiful classical music, so that was very special and I thank you for that. Hey, I'm Heidi Hankaniemi. I'm a Finnish-born artist based in New York. I'm here on the east side of Manhattan. This is my live-work space. Welcome. So my work is currently predominantly textile-based. I'm really a maker with a degree and a strong penchant for the conceptual arts. I was always into cutting things and putting them back together, drawing. I grew up thinking I was going to be an illustrator until my early teens when I discovered fluxus and the more conceptual arts and found those absolutely hilarious. So I ended up in London at Central St. Martin's and did a conceptual art, a critical fine art practice, more theory-based degree instead. But I was always making things, quilts and scarves and so on, and have gradually incorporated that sewing also into the fine art practice. This pandemic is actually my sort of second forced isolation experience. In 2013, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I had a surgery and just under 2 years of treatment and recovery. Then during my recovery isolation number 1, I started sorting through this collection of handiworks. And I could really sense comfort and perseverance and strength through them. I started thinking about the women who'd created them and what they'd gone through in the 40s, 50s, 100 years ago, women's textile labor and so on. And it became a very significant process working with these. I was mending the handiworks while mending myself. So the mending tapestries were all white, but in the 5 years since then they have started to flourish again, and now we have the blooms. So the bloom series are hundreds of embroidered flowers by a myriad of anonymous women from all over the world brought together to flourish. So this very personal mending project has really evolved into a much larger project of rescue. So after the women, their flowers have been brought and gathered together to flourish, they get placed onto 2 layers of this great industrial felt. It's literally strong enough to pull a car, and it's made out of recycled materials, which is very important. So I stitch these together. I add some detailing. Additional pieces if needed. They get placed into a frame or get a hanging system on the back, and voila. With COVID and many of the galleries still closed, my weekly inspirational highlight is really the weekend when we stroll down to the Chelsea Flea.
You don't mind me documenting you a little?
Oh, hi Heidi.
Hi!
I usually have quite a tunnel vision and only search for handiworks and the occasional Scandinavian design object that I might be lucky to spot for a good price.
I'll show you a picture.
When it's done.
Awesome. Take care.
So this super dirty apron we found at the flea market the other day actually came out really well after a few soaks. It was really more pure dirt rather than a completely mist-stained piece. So that was fantastic. And I am looking for flowers for these two specific blooms. I've already cut a blue one out. And this is the kind of stuff I really love, that I can find a friend for this lady from somewhere else in the world, and I can combine them and bring them together.